Having access to a gun but not using it in angry situations is just like having access to condom but not using it because you are confident enough that you will not end up emptying your load inside her. This thing is pretty difficult. Everybody knows that. Despite of this simple fact, some countries of this world have enough confidence on their people that they allow them to keep guns in their houses, which leads to miserable disaster, which I'm going to talk about in this video. A 16-year-old kid was sentenced to consecutive 40 years of prison, which means in total 80 years of prison. In short, lifetime sentence for shooting his mom and sister. The reason why this incident occurred are hidden from this world. He shot his mom and his sister when he was 13, and until yesterday, this case was getting discussed in their court. Finally, judges announced the results. The defending team of the lawyers for this guy were fighting in this case by saying that the kid was pretty young and he should be sentenced a little bit less for his age. But the judge had completely different state of mind. As an ideal judge, he kept all the emotions aside and considered the fact that the girl that he shot, her sister, was 15 years old when she was shot, and she could have completed her high school a couple of weeks ago in today's time. She would never be able to do that. The judge also said she would never be able to walk the aisle with her dad for her marriage. And what to say about the mom? If you are a 13-year-old kid, then it's pretty obvious that the mother would be in around 35 to 40 years of age, which is pretty young. If we discuss the mental state of the kid when this thing happened, we can make an assumption that there must be a fight between the mom and the kid. They must have disagreed upon something, which happens to us all the time. But in this situation, that kid had access to a gun, and probably he must have watched some shitty Hollywood firing movies. According to this world belief that we are getting modern day by day, our brain is prepared in such a way that if somebody doesn't obey us, we tend to discard them from our life. But sometimes it happens that you just cannot detach yourself from that person, and your brain then tells you that, what if this person didn't even exist? I would be very happy. When this incident happened, the kid must have lost his senses completely. He must be in a process of feeling that he is very important and whatever he thinks is right. Why my mom is not obeying me? I will just shoot her. She's the problem. I'll just remove the problem. Although I'm pretty unclear to imagine a story because the sister was around his age, just a little bit older. Just one line of thought over here. What if they didn't have gun in their house? He could have probably thrown some stuff to his mom to probably hurt her, but there's very less chances that the mother would be dead. Don't you think so? When a parent gets a license to keep a gun with them in their house, their kids also have access to this beautiful little toy. Naturally, I have access to everything in this house, whatever my parents have collected in their journey. Where despite of all these incidents happening over the year, the US government still has allowed to give guns to their people. There must be a really strong reason. We must have that deep stomach that can digest everything from every people, which poops out the unnecessary things and gets vitamins and proteins from the useful one. Well, I would like to come back to my original point that schools are useless. Why the schools are not good enough to teach these people's value and respect their parents more enough that they at least don't shoot them. Clearly we see that there is lack of bonding between the child and the parent. I would like to know that what was school doing in this situation. One more factor that works in this situation is social media. Today kids have access to social media at a very early age. They get mature very early in very young age. They get to know the reality of this world, that every relation is probably fake. They will get all the reasons to be depressed that this friend group didn't call me, didn't invite me when they were going to do a party. This guy had a birthday, he invited two of the other best friends but not invited me despite of me being so cool with him. I have a crush on this girl but she's dating to a different person. Kids have access to all these kind of information at a very young age and they cannot do anything to fight the situation because the other person has his own life. You cannot do anything then cut that person off from your life. And naturally, where would you dump all these floodgates rising in your mind to people who you are easily accessible to, your parents, your family members? Here the situation might be like the mother and the kid would have a small fight, but because of the social pressure built inside that kid, his anger took life of somebody innocent. All social media platforms have their guidelines that only you can use that platform after a certain age. It's because your mind needs to be developed to face all the depression news that you get on that social media. Your mind needs to filter out what is good and what is bad for you. But we are human. We like to access the things especially the things which we are restricted on. One thing that we know about this situation is when that kid shot his mother and his sister, he ran outside of his house, called his neighbors, and told them that somebody else shot his mom and sister, and he was trying to fight back. A news article says that right after he committed the crime, he ran out of his house claiming that a stranger had entered their home and killed his family. That kid confessed to a neighbor later that he had shot the stranger in the shoulder, producing the gun from his pajamas. He had tried to dodge the situation that a stranger killed his family. But after the police investigation of the crime scene, it was revealed that the kid was just lying. The third thing which is very dangerous in this situation, that the fighting games that kid plays in very young age, the games which include real life gun mechanics. Well, it's a whole different topic to debate on, but I think it has an impact on the person's terrorist side of brain. But these games aren't going anywhere. Moral of the story is angriness is pretty hard to control. It would have unexpected outcome in your life. So probably to fight this, if you're hungry, then we should eat something. Otherwise, probably just jerk it off. That's about it. Goodbye.